Hello, my name is Salena-Hawkins, and I am here once again to introduce myself and members of the Bilbrew Writers Workshop. I want to say that it's a pleasure to be here, both as the director and the writing coach, I call myself, of a talented group of people. And having said that, I will give it over to the first person to read this evening, Ronna White.
Thank you, Coach Odie. Hello, my name is Ronna White. I've been in the workshop for a couple of months. So this product that I'm reading, it started off as a 7-word short story. And from there it evolved. I didn't want to continue it. Coach Odie, he said, no, I want you to develop this. I want to see where you can take it. And I've enjoyed the journey, and I have really seen growth in my writing. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, walk the opposite direction. Previously it was titled Girl Scouts. I walk the opposite direction. Still working on developing that title, but here we go. So the outline: Ray is on his way to the neighborhood market. During Girl Scout season, he dodges the petitions to purchase cookies by leaving through the same door he entered, since the Scouts set up their table at the exit. One day he finds himself face to face with a Girl Scout and her mom. The character profiles. Should I read through the character profiles? Ray, a 68-year-old Mexican-American, approximately 5'7" and 150 pounds, salt and pepper, unkempt, curly hair with dark sun-exposed skin and tired hazel eyes. He alternates between the same 2 pair of jeans, old and worn, as are his shirts and shoes. He grew up in South Central Los Angeles, the oldest son of hardworking immigrant parents who instilled a strong work ethic in him and his 2 younger brothers. After graduating high school, he was drafted by the U.S. Army at the height of the Vietnam War. He sent his money home to his high school sweetheart, Belle, who was pregnant when he left. They married when he returned, and their 7-year-old daughter, Abby, was the flower girl at their wedding. Within a year, they welcomed a healthy 6-pound baby boy to the family, whom they called Junior. One day, Belle, Abby, and Junior were on their way to attend Abby's Girl Scouts meeting when their car was struck by a drunk driver. There were no survivors. After the heart-wrenching loss of his wife and children, he isolated himself from the rest of his family and friends. The agitated nightmares he had after he returned home from Vietnam were far more intense now, coupled with those of his family. He wanted to commit suicide. His faith assured him that he would not be joined with his family taking that route, but he couldn't understand why he was cursed here on earth. Drinking his sorrows away was never effective, but he continued to turn up the bottle despite its insolvencies. He gained employment here and there, poured his emotion into his work, but never socialized with coworkers. His anger usually bottlenecked into an explosive attack, and fight he did with someone on the job, usually. Of retirement age and collecting SSI, he lives on a fixed income and occupies space in what some will call life. He has no desire to connect with anyone, could care less about good versus evil, and therefore doesn't acknowledge or differentiate between 2. Anyone in his personal space is bad, and he has no problem putting someone out of his space, but just prefers they move along on their and remove themselves on their own. He doesn't care about life outside of his space and just wishes the world would soon come to an end. Haley is the next character. Haley is a 27-year-old, 5'5", 170-pound Caucasian woman with exposed brunette roots, long straight bleach blonde hair, beige tan, and brown eyes. A homeschooling mom and entrepreneur, typically sporting yoga pants and a hybrid tank top and tennis shoes. As a military brat, she moved every 2 to 3 years with her family and has an appreciation for diversity. A bit aggressive, she tends to take the lead on initiatives, turn opportunities into competition, often taking extreme measures to win the gold. She has a gift of reading people well, and she credits it to her success. She reads people well, therefore she's successful. Determined that her daughter Delaney will not miss out on the stability she sought as a child, she runs a business creating inspirational paraphernalia, which she sells online. Most of her earnings she saves in an account separate from the one she and her husband share. She is the head of their neighborhood watch and holds the leadership role at her daughter's Girl Scout troop. People respect her because she's dependable, clever, and resourceful. When she's involved with others, it's usually related to some type of business. Their family and her one friend she can count on at any time all live distances far from them. Her community is compartmentalized as associates. Balance is important to her, and although she prefers to be in the lead, she appreciates learning as a follower. She believes everyone on earth should give more and receive less, and that includes what we give to Mother Earth. When she feels she's tipped the scales, she finds ways of giving back. Although she attends a Baptist church with her family sometimes, she's more agnostic and listens for revelations and signs through everyday interaction, mostly leaning toward the universe as a whole. Delaney is our last character. Delaney is an 11-year-old Girl Scout, about 5'1", 80 pounds, with long brown curly hair, sun-kissed warm caramel skin, and brown eyes. Often, somewhere close to ground observing bugs and plants and flowers, she usually has smudges of dirt on her hands and clothes. The only child to an African American father and Caucasian mother, she tends to adopt a black identity at heart, but when completing forms, her mom ensures she marks biracial. Although she used to long for a sibling, she has grown to appreciate her center position in the family. A curious collector of things outdoors, pretty much all things outdoors, she enjoys exploring ideas and conducting experiments. Joining the Girl Scouts was not an option, rather a challenge her mom gave her that would support her love for the outdoors while encouraging the extrovert hidden within. She has made new friends with other girls in her troop, and they make the cookie selling business enjoyable. Although she knows there is good and bad in the world, she's only heard of evil and therefore has a rather trusting disposition. She prays to God in Jesus' name and is weary of the devil. She recognizes that places the U.S. tend to go to war with, as when her grandfather fought in the Iraq War, typically have evil dictators, but it's also very foreign to her. The intro. Ray rushes toward the entrance of the store and drops his wallet. He picks it up, checks his money, and doesn't recognize a stray dollar that floats away in the wind. Look, Mom, he dropped his money. I'll get it for him, okay? He's such an old Scrooge. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. We could just add that to the donation box. Mom. I'm just kidding. Take him his money and get right back over here. Excuse me, sir. Here you go. You dropped your money. Thank you. Good luck selling your cookies. You're welcome. Have a nice day, and thank you. What did he say? He said thank you and good luck selling the cookies. I'm going to direct that luck to his direction. When he comes out of the entrance, like he tends to do, and avoid our table at this exit, I'll be waiting on him. But Mom, he doesn't want to be bothered. I know. Now the entrance and exit doors are adjacent so we can see each other. Give me the sign if you see a large group coming, and I'll be back on the side. Don't worry about it. I'm trusting you to be confident and make your sales. Don't forget to press for the upsell. If someone says no thank you, I know, Mom. Let them know that they're not just saying no to cookies, but also to me and my troop to raise money for the homeless shelter down the street. Yes, explain that this builds character and self-confidence for girls to be able to make a difference locally with hopes to grow the difference nationally and eventually impact hunger beyond America. Okay, Mom. I'll continue to face your direction and will be watching you as the patrons exit. If you look distressed, I'll be right over. Oh, he's coming out. I'll be right back. Hello, sir. Hi. Before you entered the store, my daughter brought you the $1 you lost in the wind. Yes, I said thank you. I'd like to invite you to our table to... No, I don't like kids. I don't like cookies. I don't like kids soliciting money for cookies. Ah, you're a funny one. Perhaps you can look at this as a moment to reward honesty. How about you make a donation? Surely it would encourage children to initiate more acts of honesty and kindness. You know, she could have put that $1 in her pocket. True. And I could have snatched the $1 back saying thank you, without saying thank you. And you know what else? Moms with kids that solicit money, they drive me crazy too. I don't like you. Ah, you're hilarious. Bye. Wait a minute. Okay, let me just say this and then I'll let you go. I felt drawn to you for some reason and now I figured it out. There's something you want desperately and your anger has you trapped. Find a way to make peace with it and let go of the anger. You have to move on. Walking away, his voice fades as he says, "You think you're so smart? Shit. If it were that easy, I'd be smiling from heaven with my family." Be blessed, Haley yells. Mom, I told you that man didn't want to be bothered. Yes, but sometimes we have a greater duty than being concerned with people's feelings. That man is miserable. I felt the universe calling me to share with him.
Ron, I want to ask you 2 questions.
Sure.
First one is, why do you write, and where would you like to have writing take you, writing as a craft?
Okay, so I started writing, it was just somewhere that my mind could go. It wasn't anything, I didn't even share my writing in the beginning. It was just a way for me to release and kind of venture out to different places that I wouldn't say typically, or I wouldn't go typically because I was more, a little more shy and reserved. So it just helped me to see different places through my imagination. Where I would like to, the craft of writing to take me, I find it to be therapeutic now, so I just enjoy getting lost in the writing, but ultimately, I want to be rich and get paid for writing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're at Ron. Ron Dowell. My name is Ron Dowell, and I'm going to read a story that started in this workshop about 3 weeks ago as a result of a prompt that we all received. The assignment was to write a story with 3 different perspectives. We called it me, myself, and I, but the purpose was to look at a character from a sociological, a physiological, and a psychological perspective. And of course, the cell phone goes off right in the middle of all of this. Very good, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
And
we're
we're
going to take care of that right now. There. So, this is the first draft. It's called The Hungry Belly. On the steps of Compton City Hall's council chambers, my eyes dropped to the cell phone picture of Congresswoman Beatrice Herrera's assistant has just texted me. On the far right in the picture is Turner, teen mentor, Compton activist, a former prison guard. In the middle is the incumbent Congresswoman, a diminutive Latina who smells of Chanel and is in full campaign mode on this cool young spring early evening. Then there's me, Black Lives Matter button in view and belly almost blocking her out. I'm 60 and over 40 years ago, I made a promise to myself that I'd never allow me a belly like my daddy used to carry around. His belly was full of hog maws, potatoes, and greasy chicken. His blood had too much sugar, his pressure much too high, and he had an oversized prostate gland. All contributed to his hospitalization and death from sepsis at 75. Turner's gut is as big as mine, but for this shot, he has sense enough to turn his body toward the camera and suck it in. Not me. I turned a slight angle toward Herrera. Ron and I will support you, Turner says to her. We wish her luck, and she heads inside. Man, I said to Turner, I never noticed how big my stomach is. I look pregnant. I assume based on my gym time, 5 days a week, 2 or 3 hours per session, that I look pretty swell for an old dude. The picture tells a real story. Damn, he says, I thought my stomach was fat. When did this change happen? I replayed past months' events in order to understand. Forget it, Turner says. We have what we came for. Go ahead and upload the picture to Facebook, he says. Turner and you make your way into the crowded council chambers, burdened by the heavy Killer Cops banner and protest signs. The 4x10 banner depicts names of all people murdered by police in Los Angeles County since 2005. It's a stark optical with hundreds of names, their ages, and the killer police employer. Not long ago, you nailed the banner up at the rear of the council chambers, next to the public entry doors in perfect view of 5 council members from the dais. You considered that an act of free speech. The mayor considered it an act of public property defacement. Had sheriff deputies snatch your banner down, grab your upper arm, and escort you out, where outside the building, they said you tripped and fell on damp pavement. You said that you were shoved. Deputies threw the banner your way and said, next time, we'll arrest you for trespassing. Now you're back. This is not a council meeting, but a campaign rally. None of them are present. No deputies are visible. You have a felony theft conviction from when you were 19, and if arrested, don't really want to face a judge in court. Whew. You're lightheaded with an unexpected release of tension. The nails from before are still in place. You in turn hang the banner and stand on each end of it with signs. Yours reads, Black Lives Matter, stop the killings. Turner's sign says, what if we shoot back with cameras? The chamber overflows with people. You switch the sign from hand to hand, but still your arm's tired, and you set it down and lean on the stick as if it's a cane.
That won't work, so you hoist it up and rest the stick in the folds of your belly, which seem to have grown over the past several minutes. You sigh. Like a tent pole, it fits perfectly within the pudgy dip of the relief to the relief of your arms and shoulders. So perfect is the fit that you can wave your hands around. Hey now, and the sign holds fast. You move your feet and do the jerk, an old school dance. You enjoy the communal energy and shout, "Black Lives Matter!" Turner follows. Shoot the police. Standing in front of the dais, Congresswoman Herrera looks startled. Through the microphone, she says, "It's true that black lives do matter, that there are far too many black and brown men killed by police." Still, she's a politician and modified the subject. "That's why in DC I advocate a ban on assault weapons, eliminating bump stops, and eliminating the right to purchase guns by those with mental problems." Someone in the crowd shouts, "Hell yeah!" A sheriff deputy peeks into the council chambers. Your chest tightens. You breathe faster, but your belly seems to act on its own and starts to bounce the sign up and down, side to side. It forces words up from your gut, up and through your esophagus to your mouth. "Fuck the pigs," you say. 2 sleepless days later, Ron's stomach gurgles and protrudes from underneath the navy blue county jail shirt. It sits prelim and the court is full of defendants. Their supporters clamor for seats. His eyeballs linger on Ron's belly, and a smug smile attaches to the judge's face when he asks, how do you plead? He turns to his public defender who, in a bright red bow tie, mouths, "Guilty." After he promised that the plea deal would get Ron 30 days in jail plus probation afterwards. Hell, that's easy for him to say. He doesn't get strip searched or walk with his back to walls to avoid shanks or a hard dick attack. The pit of his ever-expanding stomach feels empty. Ron mumbles something beneath his breath. The judge says, "Speak up, sir." The DA says to the judge, "He has priors, sir." The crowd hushes when the bailiff eases. The crowd hushes when the bailiff eases over. Her hands clutch the taser on her equipment belt. The PD whispers to him, "Guilty, say guilty. Unless you raise bail, you'll stay in jail until the trial." Mouth dry, Ron glances at the clock on the wood panel wall on his left. When he turns, his stomach nudges the PD and gobbles him up. The bailiff reaches in to pull him out, but is also swallowed by Ron's burgeoning belly. The DA's eyes widen. The judge smashes his gavel to his bench. "Order, order," he says. Even if he's in jail, who's going to mess with somebody with a hungry belly? Ron says, "Excuse me, Your Honor, I'm not guilty."
Ron, question, your writing seems to reflect a lot of what I might call social activism. Is that one of your basic thrusts, to talk about social issues, or to write purely for the sake of writing?
It's both. It's really, and I'm motivated by social issues. Hell, I was raised in Washington, Compton, so there are a lot of things that happened throughout my life, and I use writing now as a vehicle because I think I have something to say about it. The other thing for me is that I've read a lot of things, but I don't see anything that really says the kind of things that I want to read. That's really what it is, so I figured I'd write it myself.
We'll get back to you as soon as you finish writing your book. Next up. Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. My name is Zola Salena-Hawkins, and I too am writing a story based on the initial thing of the me story that we were supposed to write about ourselves. From me, myself, and I, our sociological, our psychological, our physical, and our worldview, which I have a lot of views. Anyway, so the story at first, it kind of was driving me crazy, but then I got in my Tai Chi mode, which you have to understand that there is going to be Tai Chi Day, Saturday, April 28th, The last Saturday of every year of April is Tai Chi Day. And at 10 o'clock, all over the world, people are doing Tai Chi. So look up on Meetup or whatever. Sorry for the commercial. All right, back to the story. My story is called Undercover Investigations. And premise is not necessary, I guess, but the premise I have to writing story is, to thyself be true, then you can be as normal as you can be. So the narrator in my story is Roscoe Lee Brown. And I really wish I had Roscoe Lee Brown's voice, but I'm going to try and make it deep so that you can imagine Roscoe Lee Brown. And having to write about me, myself, and I from not only my view, but from other people's view, just kind of was driving me crazy. So where else would one go but an asylum situation? Okay. So, Undercover Investigations. Roscoe Lee Brown, narrator. KYRS, Know You Are Sane Network here. Welcome to our viewing audience. I welcome you to our program, Undercover Investigations. In this segment of the show, we are investigating the psychiatric services at Sidewalk City Asylum, located on Asylum Road in a city, Earth. This cold winter day, we sent our undercover investigator, Zola Salena-Hawkins, to this facility. No one in the facility is aware that she is there to evaluate the program. She has been assigned to Nurse Ridge's Ward 13 and must provide a report on the group sessions led by this particular nurse. It has been reported that Nurse Ridge's patients rarely get well enough to leave the facility. Nurse Ridge has had some patients for over 10 years without any improvements. We open to documentary with the sound of a long ring from the intercom, and Nurse Ridge's voice announcing group therapy begins in 5 minutes in front of the nurse's station. We hear her say, "Hurry to the circle! Don't make me wait! Don't make me wait for you!" Hello, group. Here she goes. "Hello, group. Everyone new and old. Remember, I'm your own Nurse Ridge. I will lead the group today. You must stay in your seats until the end of this group therapy session. If you need to go to the bathroom, go now. You have 5 minutes to get back in your seat. Hurry, do not take as long as you did the last time, or you will have no carrots at dinner." Nurse Ridge, please don't take my carrots. Don't take my carrots. Please don't take my carrots. Calm yourself, Heifer Harvey. Calm yourself immediately. We will not begin our session this way. You understand? Don't get up from the floor. Go to the bathroom and get back to your seat. I will call staff to help you if you don't. Oh my goodness. Here I am, Zola Salena-Hawkins, working as an undercover agent for KYRS Network. This nurse seems like a cold fish. I can't detect any warmth in her at all. Does she want to help these people? Just look at them. They all look like a fun group in the midst of a tyrant. Well, let me stop being so quick to judge. This nurse, after all, I just got here. Oh, here we go. I gotta put on my poker face so she won't think I'm sane. Okay, now that everyone is back and it is their assigned seat, we will begin. Let me introduce our newest member to the group. Her name is Zola Salena-Hawkins. As you can see, she's a small person and even a senior citizen. No one is trying to intimidate Zola since she is a new member, is a senior and a small woman. Leave her alone. I will not deal unfairly with you. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Nurse Orchid. I want you to welcome her to our ward after our group session today. Then you can go to the nurses' stations if you feel the need. Zola, I haven't had a chance to really review your admitting paperwork today, and I imagine We all are interested in why you are here. Just take your time today. You don't need to say anything if you don't want to. You certainly appear to be a very normal, reasonable, smart person. I want you to know that I will find your problem and I will make you well. Oh, thank you, Nurse Richard. I'm looking forward to being a part of this group and one day returning to life outside these walls. I know you are here to help all of us get well. That's enough talk for now. You should know some of the rules of our group. You must not speak out during the group therapy unless you raise your hand, and I will give you permission to speak. Do you understand this rule? Okay, let me play this and raise my hand. Yes, Zola, did you have something to say? Only nurse that I understand this rule. Good. Now let's begin. In the background, we hear Garth Brooks singing on the radio, If Tomorrow Never Comes. Commercial break regarding mental health. The narrator. Well, as you saw, the group psychiatric session was less about the group talking about their issues than Nurse Richard telling them how bad they are and how hard it will be for them to get well. When the group session ends, everyone ran to the nurse's station to get some meds. Zola joins the group knowing she will tongue the medication, so she will remain in her right mind. Let's get back to the psychiatric ward right now. Oh, well, that was some group session. To be fair, this is only the first day, but if this is the way it is every day, I can see the big problem. And its name is Nurse Richard. I can see why very few of her patients ever leave her ward. Oh my, who's this approaching me now? Of course, it's Harvey. I wonder why he's so timid. Let me focus and see what he wants. Who knows, maybe I can help him. Hello, my name is Harvey. I'm a puka, or maybe you would say a puka. I'm something of a rabbit. Oh, are you really a puka? What kind of puka are you? What rabbit puka? That may look like a man for those who don't know. You know, your ears are not that long, but if you say you're a rabbit puka, I guess you are. My goodness, Harvey, you have a lovely smile. Zola, you won't tell Nurse Rigid that I told you I'm a rabbit puka? Of course not, Harvey. We shouldn't tell anyone you don't want to know about this. Besides, I tend to understand about those things, but maybe not everyone understands. Well, everyone here understands, and most of my family does, but not Nurse Rigid. She doesn't understand. She says I have to stop thinking and saying I'm a rabbit puka, or she will send me to shock therapy. She said I cannot go back to running my business until I know I'm not a rabbit puka. Please tell me, Harvey, were you able to take care of your business before you came here? Oh, yes. However, right now, I acquired a new contract that would net us billions. I was so exuberant, that I told my business partner in the strictest confidence that I'm a rabbit puka. He became very distressed and insisted I commit myself to this institution. My family tried to assure him it was all right for me to think that I'm a rabbit puka, but he said if it got out in our business community, it would ruin our business. So to keep the money coming in, they also signed papers committing me. Oh, I see, says the blind man. What did you say, Zola? What I said is just a common expression, which expresses understanding about your situation. It's not important. What really matters is getting you back to taking care of your business. What kind of business is it? It's a computer graphic business that has software that lets you speak things into existence. You want a certain chair to sit in? The program just creates the chair for you, your specifications. Wow. Well, that's smart. Well, being that smart, you certainly must know what you must say and do to get out of here. I'm sure if you have other ideas that would result in even more profit for your company, you must get in touch with your business partner. But don't explain any of your ideas to him. Tell him you know how to acquire some more profit, but must be able to meet some long-time associates to get them on board. After you accomplish another business deal, consider buying him out of your business. Then you need to do all you need so that you won't be committed again. But Zola, Nurse Richard says I'm not smart. Is it honest to lie to Nurse Richard? Well, Harvey, you must decide if she's telling the truth. Are you stupid? Are you crazy? Did you create a company that has software unlike any found anywhere else on earth? Is she the only one that can make you well? Or how well or sane must you be to get back to running your business? Ooh, I too see, says the blind man. Yes, Harvey, I think you finally do see what's going on. Now don't tell Nurse Richard we had this talk, okay? Sure, Zola, you are really smart. This is the first time I feel like someone really cares about me. I mean, really cares. Zola, you've been here for only one day and I feel better already. I don't understand why you're here. Harvey, I'm just here to see what it's all about. I'll explain to you one day, but today is not the day. We better get to our rooms before Nurse Richard does her rounds and catches us. You're right, Zola. Is it okay if I tell some of the others to talk to you too? Of course, Harvey. It would be best if they talk with me while playing cards or putting puzzles together. We don't want the staff to think I'm giving free advice to help others with their problems. Let's hurry now to our rooms before your obvious levity makes the staff wonder what we've been talking about. Zola, hurry! What are you doing? Why aren't you in your rooms? Zola, what has Harvey been saying to you? Nurse Richard, I got confused, and Harvey was just telling me not to worry about things because you're here to help me. He says you've helped him, and he hopes he is almost better. He told me he thinks my room is over there. Is it over there, Nurse Richard? Yes, Nurse Richard. Can you please show me my room? You sure? That's all you've been talking about? Oh, yes, that's what all we've been talking about. I'm so tired. All right, Zola. Come with me. Harvey, you know where your room is, so get to it right away. Right now. Yes, Nurse Richard. Thank you for helping Zola. I know she will get better with your help. Why, Harvey, you may be getting better. We will have to long talk tomorrow during group therapy. It seems I may finally make you well again. Now we have an AARP commercial regarding stress and exercise, and the narrator slips back in. 6 months later. During this time, group therapy session has been almost one duplicate case of therapy after the other. However, Harvey has been declared cured by Nurse Richard, and even the staff can appreciate this rare moment of a patient going home. Nurse Richard has explained to Zola that she too has improved and may be released soon. We return to the documentary and see the patients are sitting at a table working on an enormous puzzle. Zola walks over to them. Let's return to the scene. Why are all of you sitting around this table? This must be some kind of special puzzle that you're not putting together. What's up, Harvey? Well, our little gray-haired Zola, we just wanted to thank you for caring about us and helping each of us. You've done more for our state of mind than most of the staff. You've come in here and assessed our situations. You have provided amicable solutions to individual and even group problems. Your input has helped us figure out what we need to do to leave this place. Oh, come on. I just provided a bit of common sense to your various uncommon situations. Well, Zola, you are so accepting. When I told you I'm a rabbit puka, you just seem to think it's okay. Almost everyone else tells me I'm crazy. No, Harvey, you're just a bit different. Well, you know, most of the others at first couldn't believe you were as cool as you are, but we all watched you. We watched you during group therapy, at lunch, and other times when you may not have noticed us watching you. You watched us play Nurse Richard. Oh, so you understood and noticed when I was playing Nurse Richard. Goodness, Zola, we're all not crazy. Well, you are all a bit different the way you tend to say the same sentences at the same time. I guess that it just shows that you've been definitely here in this institution too long. It's like you're thinking with one mind. Remember, you are individuals. Individuals. Harvey, you must get out of the practice of raising your hand when you want to talk. Yes, Zola, I keep forgetting. I just want to speak for the group. It's you who have taken time to talk and work with everyone here, and we're grateful. Well, you can prove how grateful you are by working your way out of here. Maybe for the first time in this institution, Nurse Rigid is going to have a success rate with members of her group therapy, since she used up so much of your time. We all should recognize how important time is. Remember this, my friends. There isn't enough time to be happy, so there's no time to be sad. Be true to yourself, never intentionally hurt anyone else, and you'll be all right, right? Right! Well, I have a bit of surprise for you. I will be leaving the group today, and so will Nurse Rigid. She may get credit for you all suddenly getting well, but more likely Nurse Joy will get the credit. Dr. Gray and the hospital board of review agree that Nurse Rigid deserves a long rest on Ward 12. You know, she hasn't had a single vacation in 30 years. I'll let Nurse Joy explain what's about to happen. Gotta go now. Close your mouths, and y'all stay up. Stay up now. Movie commercial regarding From Russia with Love. Narrator. Our story ends on a pleasant note. Soon after we provided the report on Nurse Rigid, we were able to get word to Zola that Nurse Joy would take over the ward. Nurse Rigid was assigned as a patient to Ward 12. Hopefully, she will get the help she needs. We have since learned that most of the patients that Zola interacted with have now been released. Each of them have become exceptional giving members to our society. This concludes our undercover investigation. We hope you have enjoyed the show and will tune in next week for our new series of undercover investigations of the White House. Thank you very much.
Zola,
Yes.
Pat Forte had a question for you.
I loved it. I thought that was great.
Not too insane.
What inspired you to write this story, Zola?
Well, one of my favorite shows is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I love that.
Okay, and my thing was that if I'm going to be me, myself, and I in a situation, where else would you be me, myself, and I, but an institution?
Thank you.
Okay.
All
right.
Okay. Okay. I'm done. Let me get my pages. 1, 2. Hi, my name is Patricia Forte. This is an assignment I had to write a conversation between two people. It's a short assignment, and it's about conflict and resolution. And here we go. It's called Access Granted. Hey, Paula, how you doing? Silence. Can I speak to London, if you don't mind? Silence. I hear you breathing. Paula, you there? Hell yeah, I'm here. Where else I'm gonna be? Can I speak to London? No, you may not. She's sleeping. Yeah, she's taking a nap. Every time I call, she's taking a nap. What the hell you trying to say, Bobby? Look, I call in the morning, she's sleeping. I call in the afternoon, she's sleeping. She's taking a nap. I call in the early evening, she's asleep. How much sleep does a 5-year-old need? Oh, so now you're gonna tell me how to raise my child. She's tired, bye. Wait, Paula, wait, don't. Click. Redial. Hello, Paula. What? You better be glad I picked up. I am. Listen to me. Just hear me out. You wouldn't let me pick her up last week because she said she went somewhere with her grandmother. Okay. I just want to know if I can pick her up tomorrow for our Sunday visit. I do have a court order. And I want to see my daughter. Folks in hell want ice water, so what? Come on, Paula. The judge said I could see her on weekends. I want my daughter to know me. I want to pick her up tomorrow morning. I'll have her back home by, say, 7 if that's okay. I want to take her to the zoo and maybe to Chuck E. Cheese. Well, she can't go. She's spending time with her cousins. They're having a birthday party. Okay, all right, I can take her to the party. Like hell you can. I don't want my baby around you and them low-life crowd of people you hang with. All them goons and bodybuilders and lowriders. Hell no. What are you talking about? I don't hang around nobody these days. I go to work, come home, report to my parole agent, do a little bowling. That's it. That ain't what I heard. Your new boo ain't the kind of woman I want my child around. What are you talking about, Paula? Sharon is a bookkeeper. She's been doing books for years. Probably cooking the books. Don't play me, Bobby. Never. She's a good woman. You know you don't know how to pick no good woman. I heard she's skinny and funny looking. She's petite and she's not funny looking. She's a good woman. She has 2 kids. She's a great mother. She even teaches Sunday school. What that mean to me? Just cause she teaches Sunday school don't mean she's some kind of saint. The church is full of demons. Come on, Paula. I can bring her by tomorrow with me so you can meet her. The hell you can. I don't want my daughter, I don't want to meet that skank and I don't want her around my child. Look, Paula, she gets great deals from some of her accounts. She can hook you up with some great discounts from a few beauty supply houses. Fridays, Sally's, Lala's. You still wearing your eyelashes? Why? You still sporting your long nails? You can get everything you need. You always did like your feet looking good. Think about it. Silence. You still there? Keep talking. Well, I know you love smelling good and looking good. She can give you her discount at Bed Bath & Beyond, 75%. Now, that's only good for the next 2 weeks, so you're going to have to jump on that. Come around 10 in the morning. We like to sleep late on Sundays. Thanks, Paula. I appreciate you. Whatever. Just don't forget my discount card from Bed & Bath. And you can also bring one of them cards from Fridays, too. I'm low on nail polish. London! Your daddy's on the phone.
Madam Forte.
That's it.
Zola.
We've been there. We know how it goes.
Zola, I have a question.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, ma'am.
What inspired that?
Well, I have a son, and he has a baby's mom.
Okay.
And therein, that was the seed. Didn't really go like this, but
Right.
it's
fictionalized.
conflict.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
It's just street conflict
Okay.
about court order visiting.
Okay, you made the characters extremely real, as you tend
Well.
to. Okay. I'm looking forward to your novel.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
When is on board?
I'm so glad you asked. I'm so happy. What I'm doing, I'm at 65,000. You know, I'm struggling with my words.
Right.
I'm 65,000 now, and I'm gonna finish by 80. I'm doing my prologue, my epilogue. I'm really doing that to add some words to it. But I'm also doing what I got from Eddie, is to take an incident in the story and elaborate on it.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing. So now I'm taking Odie, and he's been in the story, but I'm taking Odie and giving him a little depth.
Okay, what's the name of the title?
It's called All Aboard.
All Aboard. Okay.
And I'll see you at the next signing.
Okay.
But yeah, it's all
Yes,
aboard.
Fantastic. Looking
Thank you.
forward to your second
All right.
book.
Thank you. All right.
Look at these lights. This story was prompted by a concern for some of the elders on our planet, and I have to do this because of constraints of time as quickly as possible. The intro. Over the past 10 years, there have been a number of attacks by so-called domestic elephants on human beings. They trotted out of the large, brilliantly lit ring, gently gripping each other's tails as the clang, bang, and music of the Bunkum Brothers Circus Band covered their exit. Zumbi, the largest and the last member exiting, was required to do a little Bojangles backward shuffle just before he made his exit, a little taste of old-fashioned vaudeville. Hundreds of children, men, women, parents, circus lovers screamed and applauded as the elephants, bound with huge balletic tutus around their middles and tall dunce claps on their heads, made their final exit from the big top. They followed their trainers in an obedient file to their tent quarters. Lucy, Old Tom, Snowflake, Jupiter, Sunny Boy, Bucko, Sally, Zumbi, the Bunkum Brothers Circus Elephant performers. They felt mentally tired from being forced to go through 40 minutes of playing soccer with an oversized beach ball, of sitting on multicolored stumps, pretending to be schoolboys and girls with dunce caps on their heads, of shuffle dancing the samba, sometimes with pretty circus girls on their necks, of being forced to pretend that they were huge surrogate human beings with no connection to human beings beyond being forced to obey. Zumbi lifted his trunk to sniff the cool night air. Chicago, I could smell lake water and the odd smelling trees they grow here. In the Middle West, always the scent of fresh water. On the East Coast, there was a chemical stench of pollution, and on the West Coast, that reminded him most of his native Kenya, there was the odd smell of death. He had often discussed it with his fellow captives. His friend and fellow ex-Kenyan, Jupiter, had a unique spin on the West Coast funk. Zombie, I believe that we are really smelling death. I think that the outer space worms are dumping their cremated bodies into the valleys, and that big basin called Los Angeles. Maybe that's why they call it Los Angeles, the angels. He found it difficult to refute this notion. He didn't want to believe it, but he couldn't find a valid reason to reject the idea. They waited patiently for their trainer and his assistants to place chains around their left ankles, to fork bales of grass and wheat straw, reinforced with barrels of Jonathan apples, into their separate feeding troughs to supply them with water. They ate and drank, glad to be away from the bright lights and the brutal noises of the crowd. The subsonic message was received by all of them, but it was directed to Zumbi. Roxy was calling again from the zoo. He had started calling from the second hour of their arrival in town 2 days ago. Roxy the Rogue, he had been labeled by the press after killing one of his zoo prison mates. She was in love with her captivity and badly injuring an abusive zoo attendant. The zoo was only a few miles away, and after a bit of fine-tuning, they had managed to work out a very clear channel of subsonic sound. Roxy, the rogue elephant, had been granted a reprieve by authorities after eyewitnesses testified on his behalf, validating claims of cruel and unusual punishment by Roxy's trainer. And of course, because of his notoriety, he became a top drawer attraction at the zoo. Come see Roxy, the rogue elephant. Bring the whole family. Tonight, Zombie, tonight, while we are sleeping, tonight. 7 great heads turned casually in Zumba's direction, but tension was the fuel for their attention. Zumba shook his head back and forth with annoyance. No, Roxy, not tonight. The time is not right, not tonight. We need to work out a careful plan. I will tell you when. Their communication ended abruptly. Roxy was not pleased by my reluctance to join him in rebellion. Too bad. Perhaps she's too young to recall the last time we moved against our oppressors without proper preparation. The Bunkum Brothers' head trainer wandered into the elephant living quarters to double-check the giant chains that cinch around the ankles of the 8 captives, the performers. The trainer puffed on a fat cigar, a smell they all hated, and gave what he felt was an affectionate slap on each elephant's sensitive trunk. Night, Lucy! Night, Old Tom, Snowflake, Jupiter, Sunny Boy, Bucko. Night, Sally. Looks like you put on a little weight there, honey. Night, Zumbi. Night, boys and girls. The part they hated the most after the nauseous cigar smoke, the patronizing pat slap on their chumps, was his night, boys and girls. They had had many after-hours discussions about what they want to do in response to the trainer's part in reference to them as boys and girls, Old Town. Well, now, come on, y'all. It ain't such a bad thing as all that, is it? Snowflake. Well, I don't see anything really cool about it. It's undignified. And besides, I'm not a girl. And my real name is Uganda, in case anybody's interested. Jupiter. I think we ought to take this asshole out. You know what I'm saying? I agree with the Lord Roxy. I think we ought to take each and every one of them out who disrespects us. You know what I'm saying? Sonny boy. Oh, come on, Jupiter. You wouldn't want to be responsible for killing babies, would you? Jupiter. You heard what I said. Each and every one of them who disrespects us. Out! Bucko. Too much talk, not enough action. That's what I say. Sally, flapping her ears to cool off. I don't really care to be bothered by this negativity. Zumbi kept his opinions to himself. It was a clever way to demonstrate that he wasn't in complete agreement with any of his friends, or Roxy, or out of touch. Maybe Roxy thinks of me as a Colin Powell, but I'm not. I hope within the next few days I'll be able to make him understand that. Roxy feels a great urgency to be the catalyst for some kind of change, and I clearly understand that. It's been 45 years now. 45 years of being made to do silly things for the amusement of children and childlike adults, of being locked inside of zoo prisons. Some of us went suicidal in 2005 because dozens of younger members went off too soon. The result of their impatience caused a lot of human anxiety and punitive mass chain-ups. The major difference that Zumbi, an African, had with his peers concerned the scope of their future rebellion revolt. It's got to be worldwide, global, not just us Africans in circus captivity, but all of those brothers and sisters in Asia, wherever. Oh, come on, Zulu, they're different from us. No, Roxy, not really. They captured them and made slaves of them, just like us. The only difference is they made them do stuff like hauling logs and building roads that they didn't focus on with us. But they made us clowns, comic figures and dunce claps we laughed at to dance inside the big top. Yeah, they did that. They did that because they knew we would never obey commands like slaves. Roxy, I understand what you're saying. All I'm saying, bottom line, is that we got to get beyond the artificial barriers they set up between us. You know the stereotypes. Asians, also simple, smaller, willing. Africans, wilder, complicated, larger, neat, tighter controls. I hear you, Zumbi, I hear you. I hope and pray that you do. That was frankly a sticking point. The fact that the Asians have been reduced to chattel slavery and the African brothers and sisters have been forced into circus tarming or into zoo prisons. It doesn't make any sense for us to try to throw stuff on one side of our family or the other. They made slave workers out of them and clown fools out of us. I, for one, can't see any reason to focus on these two conditions as a point of difference. Let's take it from where we are now. Zumbi the Great, his elephant friends called him, Big Zumbi to the bunkum circus folks, swayed back and forth, half asleep, his mind filled with past and future thoughts, elephant ideas. He was slipping into one of those thought patterns that seemed to grip his mind like a strange drug. He felt himself walking across miles of open, dry country, driven by the urge to return to a water hole that he knew would be there. There might not be a lot of water, but there would be enough to take us through this dry spell. My ancestors have told me this. The history of elephant man has always been a troubled one, with man the clear aggressor. There's no evidence ever that elephant mastodons have ever looked at man as a food source or a work unit, but certainly the reverse has always been the case. Man hunted the mastodons for food, but it isn't clear how or why the first elephants were enslaved. The most logical scenario is that a baby elephant was captured, and some smart guy suggested they raise her, instead of roasting and grilling the unfortunate. She'll be able to help us carry heavy loads and stuff. Yeah, maybe, but you know, these babies get to be pretty hefty. What if she grows up and turns on us? That's unlikely, not after we've raised her, completely brainwashed her. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but what if? Okay, a doomsday scenario, huh? If she grows up and turns wild, we just warm up the grill and barbecue her. And what about the heat period? You're talking about must. This is a female. We don't have a problem with her. That's a guy thing. Thus possibly began elephant enslavement. After many, many generations of domestication, puny man had a giant horse to help him face his heavy-duty problems. This scene was probably played out in the North early on, but as history shows us, it certainly became a Southern thing too. In any case, the events of that time are murky. What is clear to us, to the elephants of today, is that they are captives and they've always been aware of that fact and planned their emancipation. It started with a funny feeling headache, a kind of delicious pressure in the temple of his areas of his head that left him feeling sexually excited. Hey boss, looks like Zumbi's coming into muffs again. What do you want us to do? Well, make certain he's well chained first off, and then we decide if we want to mate him. Who with? How about Lucy? She's just about the right breeding age, and besides, I think that would be a real interesting experience for her, and for him too. Zumbi, under the aphrodisiacal elements called muffs intoxication, was taken to Lucy at the peak of his muffs fever. 18 months later, she gave birth to a baby they had agreed to kill. Zumbi, we can't allow another one of us to be born in this whatever it is. The Bunkum brothers, keepers and trainers, tried to save the newborn, but they couldn't do anything to prevent the mother from rolling over onto the baby and smothering. Oh my God, she's killing it. She's killing her own young. I've never known an elephant mother to do that. Muffs came again, as it does with male elephants, and they brought Snowflake to him. 19 months later, she aborted a fully developed fetus. Doesn't look like Zumbi's having too much luck becoming a daddy. They listened to the comments and shared their feelings with each other. Well, under the circumstances, the best we can do is deny them the opportunity to enslave more of us. The elephants in the Bunkum brothers' circus spent many hours trying to figure out where they were psychologically. They've trained us to perform these silly stunts. Why? Zumbi constantly. Because they think it will make their children happy. What kind of happiness is in their minds to make them think that we're funny? We are elders of this planet. You're missing the point. What you must understand is their relationship with their children is so warped, so sick, as you say, that they're constantly trying to entertain their children because they're so much out of tune with them. But Zumbi, that still doesn't explain why they would want to use us to entertain their children. I can better understand the Asians that put us to work, hauling teakwood logs, pulling stuff and all that. I can't understand what our existence is supposed to mean here in these circuses and zoo prisons. Jupiter, my brother, I must confess that I am also baffled. I'm just offering my opinion on this matter. It's very complicated. But it does seem to be locked into something having to do with children. Look at Dumbo. Is that a sign of hatred for us or not? Dumbo. Look around at all the ways they've sought to degrade us, our position on earth. Well, thank God they're not all like that. Yes, we thank God, theirs and ours, for the organizations that sympathize with our condition that are trying to do something about it. In this place, this prison, this hell on earth for elephants, they call me Roxy, but I've been told by the elders of our clan that my mother named me Imzi, the old one, because she had the feeling that I've been here before. I have that feeling too. I have many feelings. Many of them come from being born in Uganda 50 years ago, not too far from Kampala, during the horrible regime of Idi Amin Dada, the monster. I was captured by poachers after they slaughtered my mom for her tusks. Can you imagine anything more insane or absurd to kill an elephant, use the elephant's tusks to make commercial items, stamps for letters, dagger holders, letter openers, whatever? I was not well treated by the poachers after they murdered my mother because they didn't know what to do with me. I was too small for tusks and too big to hide, so they decided to eat me. Fortunately, just as they were stoking up the barbecue fire for my tender body, I was rescued by heroic members of the Uganda Forest Patrol. If I had known that I was going to be taken away to this hell for elephants, I would have preferred to be barbecued. How long now? 25 years behind these bars, in this prison they call a zoo. I peeked over the shoulders of those who held plans and suggested we would be happy if they placed these bricks over here, or the walls over there. Ha! Happy behind bars. There are times when I feel that the only reason I remain sane is because of all the insanity around me. The idea of our rebellion is a very old one. I've had old heads tell me about the earliest rebellions, individual actions that some of us taken that they realized they were going to be held in chattel slavery forever. I've been ready to go for the past 3 years. I had the perfect opportunity last year, but it was blown by my cellmate who died on the points of my tusks trying to convince me that human beings are basically good. They simply did not know what to do with us. That's how brainwashed she was. Of course, I regretted killing her, and I regretted destroying that obnoxious keeper we had, who was always hooking us with this hook, or whatever they call it, awful thing behind my ears. My ears are still super sensitive to touch because of this man's crazy hooking me. Yes, I regretted killing her, but I was fed up with the abuse. Let's face it, even slaves have some rights too. Somehow, the more I think about it in human terms, I see us as gypsies, African Americans, or maybe Native Americans. As gypsies, as elephants, we've never paid much attention to borders. We will always go where there's food and water. Like African Americans, we've been enslaved, forced to follow rhythms and ideas that are foreign to us. And like Native Americans, we've been denied use of our own land. They took the land from the Native Americans and took us from our native lands. Sometimes during the certain seasons of the year, I feel this powerful urge to be back in my place with my own free, doing all of the things we love to do. Love. I miss love most of all. Perhaps that would sound strange to some, but to those who know elephants, they know that we are great lovers of love. This must, this intoxication that comes on us is always thought to be simply hormones. It's more than that, much more. It starts with this delicious pressure in the temple areas of our heads and spreads down through our bodies. I feel that it is Mother Nature's way of reassuring every male that his body is capable of containing great sexual urges and excitements. Of course, for those of us who are big and strong, must makes us feel bigger and stronger. Sometimes, especially when we are in this state, there will be fights between us to determine who will have the right, the honor, and privilege of mating. The must comes every year in the life of an adult male. I have been in must many times over the years, and the only solution my captors had for me, for my state of being, was to chain me up. Being chained while in must feels like I'm being smothered or locked in a box, too small to turn around in. One of the great reasons why our urge to rebel is so strong, and will remain strong, stem from our need to experience the natural effect of must in a natural way, in a natural setting. No matter what happens, we will never become sheep or goats. We will always remain elephants. The thought clicked into his head at dawn, a magical time for elephants. He gently blew a series of subsonic trumpet notes to Roxy. Roxy, my brother, as much as I respect your position, I must insist upon your submission to my plan. I am Zumbi the Great, so you must understand that I'm not coming to you as a small boy. Are you getting me? This is what I have put in motion. I have asked to receive confirmation from my Asian brothers and sisters, most of them anyway, and others being held in out-of-the-way places, that we agree to do three things this year. Number one, we will request release from our slavery by refusing to do anything requested of us in the circuses. Yes, it will cost us dearly. They may even put us down. But it would be better for us all to be dead rather than to act as imbeciles all of our lives. Number two, we insist that all elephants held captive in zoos, prisons, or privately must be returned to their lands of origin. Number three, we insist on our rights to be elephants and not marginal figures relegated to the circus tent or the road gang. What that means is that we will be free. If it is possible for some of us to forage and live in a new world in designated areas with ample food and water, then we wish to be left there alone to pursue our own interests. We are asking that the same consideration be made for our Asian brothers and sisters and those being held in other places. If the conditions that I've described are not met by the end of this month, February, we will dedicate ourselves to a worldwide action. We fully recognize what the consequences may be for our actions, but we are ready, willing, and able to accept whatever the consequences may be. Ashe, zombie.
Oh, wow. I don't want to. I'm so glad you gave the elephants a
Thank
voice.
you. Goodbye. All right, we've enjoyed ourselves. Okay, gotta go. All right.
Excellent. Oh,
And that's the all.
That's one
Bye.
of my favorite things.